We're going to continue with our conversation as to what is next in blockchain. Gaurav is going to take us through a very riveting conversation with some of the best known minds in the world when it comes to blockchain and its implications. Gaurav, over to you.
So on the panel, we have Mr. Mithilesh Desai, who is known as the Jackfruit King of India. And I hope you're already curious that what is the Jackfruit King of India doing in the blockchain panel. Be curious because he's going to answer that. Mr. Anupam Kashyap, the CEO of Augmenta. Mr. Ravi Joshi, the Deputy CFO of BKT Tires. And Dr. Jane Thompson, the Chief Editor of Web3 and Metaverse. So yes, please. Let's. So, the beauty of, as I said, blockchain being a philosophy is that you get to see it live in action. It's not just theory now. It's not just white papers. It's not just investment pitches. You are going to hear something, a live story from Mithilesh Desai. Again, as I said, who's known as the Jackfruit King of India. The title itself, I think, is enough of an introduction. So, Mithilesh, can you please tell your story?
Good morning, everyone. First of all, I am very thankful to make a farmer part of this NXT program. Thankful to the Kartikeya Sharma sir. Basically, I am from Lanja, Ratnagiri district of Maharashtra. We are well known as the Jackfruit King of India. We are basically farmers who are working in the rural places in a small village of Maharashtra. I'll tell a little bit about our story. That we are the first farmer who has collected, we work like a research station. There are about 128 varieties of jackfruit from all over the world. We have collected 86 from out of it. The jackfruit is the part of this panel. I'll tell you about it because jackfruit is the nutrition, jackfruit is the cattle feed, jackfruit is for the global hunger nets, jackfruit is for the carbon credits, and jackfruit is for the healthcare. As I told, I am basically a BTech agriculture engineer from Rahuri University. Today, for this panel, the blockchain is the main part, how it is helping to the farmers. So we have done, along with the Gaurav, only the Emertech innovations, we have done the first project of India of the carbon credits, that also on the jackfruit. Because jackfruit is such a crop, it is known as a zero maintenance tree. Its minimum life is about 80 years to maximum of 300 years. So this is such a fruit crop. It is well known as a superfood. It is well known as a global food. And it is a main prominently denoted crop in global food hunger index. So we are working in this crop since last 12 years in this. And for the blockchain and for the traceability, why it is important for the farmers, as Gaurav showed is in this first slide, that the farmers are actually getting very less amount of money. The traders are getting maximum amount of money through it. So for this, as a jackfruit, what we are doing to is, suppose there is the norms for exporting the plants, exporting the food products, and exporting all the goods as a farmer, which we are exporting all over the world. There is a term FSMA, the Food Security Modernization Act. If you have to supply it to the US, we'll have to supply when we'll get the traceability throughout of it. When the product or when of the single thing which we have made, it has the traceability, we can export the plants, we can export the food products all over the world. That is the very importance of the blockchain in our supply chain. Also, what we are thinking that our dear Prime Minister has given us the note and told us that doubling the farmer's income. But what actually, how it will get double, that is the form for the farmers. If the traceability and blockchain comes along with it, then only the farmers' income will be doubled. And we are on the track. And through what is the next? Next is like this way, that food security, food hunger index, global traceability, that is the basic need which we'll need for the farmers in upcoming time. And for this, as a NXT panel, as a farmer, what is the next? That this is the Naya Bharat, this is the Naya Kisan, and this is the new India. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for that, Mithilesh. And he spoke about traceability right from the farmer level and also exports. And I think logically this would definitely flow to you, Raviji, where we are not, because traceability is not just limited to the farm and agriculture, it also flows directly into your factories. And with BKT Tires, it's a behemoth, it's a gigantic organization, as we all know, and along with it comes complex supply chains, complex regulations, and so many constantly changing dynamic landscape of the compliances that they have to follow. So how do you see the intersections of the technologies like blockchain with the vast scope of work that you face? Raviji, please.
Yeah, thanks Gaurav and thanks everyone for the opportunity. So as Gaurav rightly mentioned that blockchain don't have boundaries. So just to give a background, we are a tire company. We manufacture close to 3,600 kind of tires. We export close to $1 billion tires to almost 160 countries. Now coming to the context of blockchain and how we used it, that Europe is one of our prominent market. European Union came up with a regulation for deforestation, European Union Deforestation Regulation, commonly known as EUDR, wherein we were supposed to trace the rubber which is being used in our tires. So imagine a situation wherein we are importing rubber from Africa, Southeast Asia, using it in India, rubber going through at least 7-8 processes in our factories, and then going to close to 40 countries of Europe. And when it is placed in the market, I am supposed to tell rubber belongs to which field, and that field has complied with the local regulations. Blockchain handled it quite seamlessly. I also feel that blockchain is something sort of a hallmarking of data. When blockchain is there, there's no iota of doubt around the integrity of the data and how it is seamlessly integrated in the entire supply chain and the value chain. Taking a step next, if we talk about how it can help further, I'll just taking a clue from EUDR. Every country is coming up with different regulation. If I talk about Chile, they have come up with a regulation wherein the mining tires which are being placed to the market, the end of life should be managed. End of life means when the tires is used for full of its life, it should be disposed of in a manner which is sustainable or not causing any harm to the environment. Now, sitting in India, 1,000 miles away from the market, if that kind of a compliance or governance we are supposed to make, blockchain can again come to a play, wherein the tire every tire has a unique number which can be fed into the blockchain. When the tire is being discarded, getting back to the dealer, dealer is handing over to the recycler, and the entire compliance can be just a click away. So that's the beauty of the blockchain. Without taking too much of time, I'll just hand over to Gaurav, because the capabilities and the beauty of the blockchain is unlimited, at least in our sector. Complexity can make very simply managed through blockchain. Over to you, Gaurav.
Thank you, Raviji. So, Anupamji, you've been an industry veteran. Can you give us a bird's eye view? You've been on the board of Cadbury, Cipla, and director of Coca-Cola India in your previous stints. Can you give us a brief bird's eye view of the technology?
See, I think the next technological convergence will happen on blockchain because the type of potential that it has is immense and it is far-reaching. If you look at the industry, there's a heavy investment in technology and the technology transformation is taking place, be it pharma, be it manufacturing, be it logistics, be it space science. And we have been hearing all this yesterday and today on the NXT panel. Now, further overlay on this, the cutting edge of artificial intelligence, agentic AI, generative AI, the LLM models, and the LLM models also are the public LLM models, and also the private organization have their own internal LLM models. Now, all of this, when you overlay, what it is leading to is the situation where organizations want, the businesses want, the federations, the governments want to know about things yesterday, or if not right away, on the fingertips. Now, if that is happening, which means that all of these agencies, organizations, governments are going to be exposing their data.
I'm sorry for the shortage of time, so I'll have to, if you please conclude.
Sure. Yeah, thank you. So there will be a lot of convergence in data, which basically means that there will be a lot of exposure of data that will take place. Once that happens, it will make the businesses, everything more vulnerable. And that is where a very important role the blockchain can play. And that's where I think where we should be headed.
Yes. And finally, Jane, So the reason that India's first blockchain hackathon sponsored by the government happened in 2017 in Chhattisgarh, the main catalyst was Dr. Jane Thompson, closely associated with the country, all the way from Australia. Jane, please cover everything that we have missed, and it's up to you to hit it out of the park.
India's been a huge inspiration for me about blockchain, and one of the things was in 2017, a young man from Chhattisgarh, which honestly I didn't even know where that was, got in touch with me on LinkedIn and he said, can you help me with blockchain? We've bought these mobile phones and we want to give them to the tribal families so that we can get their government benefits to them, and I want to learn how to do it. And so we chatted over LinkedIn for a while, and I went, I have to go to Chhattisgarh. I have to see the people with this ambition to connect those tribal families to the modern economy. And that was where my journey with India started. But at that time, blockchain is so much more, even than the supply chain helping the poor farmers. We can talk about humanitarian settings, tourism, healthcare, education, tokenization of real-world assets, gamification. Did you know India is the fastest growing market for Web3 games? And why? Because people can earn money using blockchain Web3 games by playing games. And this is directly relevant to the people who were talking yesterday about the Prime Minister's health and wellness agenda, because you can incentivize people using blockchain and tokens to eat more healthily and to do exercise. But let me just move very quickly, because I know we've got 20 seconds to go. The big story to tell, and please get me anytime during the conference if you're interested in any of these other sectors, is healthcare and data. We've heard a lot the last couple of days all about data, and India produces the data. You can create blockchain-based trust data marketplaces, so you're going to be able to bring all your data into the one place securely and monetize that data that the Uber guy was talking about yesterday. And if you're going to have 500 unicorns by 2030, one will be a blockchain unicorn interwoven with AI. I'm sure of that.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much, everyone, for your time. Yes.
Thank you, Gaurav, once again for that wonderful session. All right, we are just a few moments away from that big appearance